This is a survival mechanism. You cannot help but do this. And if you don't do this, you could die. So it makes sense that you would shift to such a narrow focus in times of great stress, because you cannot take care of somebody else if you are not alive to do so. If you can only support creators who provide value and make you think, please consider contributing to my Patreon page the next time you watch one of my videos. Hello everybody and welcome. Today, I kind of wanted to discuss an experience I had last night, which was not particularly fun, and the revelations it kind of solidified within me. So essentially what happened is I was watching this YouTube video, and it was only like an 8-minute video, but I found myself afraid, watching this video, and this guy's talking about money in our world and, how it could potentially cause issues in this area and that area, and how it's an illusion and all these other things, and that so easily all the money could be wiped out because it's just fictional anyway. And it really got me scared, and I'm going, oh my gosh, like, what do we do? What do we do? So I found myself trying to find that solution, trying to be like, okay, so now I need to get as much as I can while it's available. I need to make sure that I have a house. I need to make sure that I have all these things so that I can guarantee my survival after this point. And it's quite rare that I feel this way about anything. But as I'm in that emotional state, I start to recognize how this could be exactly what most people are feeling. That strain, that feeling that things aren't going to work out, and that all of a sudden it's all going to disappear. So we have to make sure that we have everything that we could possibly need right now so that we don't end up dead tomorrow. It's quite terrifying. But your perspective gets so narrowed to where you're focused only on the next minute or the next day or the next hour. And that's kind of what fear does, is it narrows your focus so much to where you're just so focused on the problem and you're so focused on the immediate need that you can't even begin to come up with a solution. You're so focused on what you don't have and on the lack and on the fear and the scariness of the situation that you literally cannot see past it until you move to a different emotional state. Now, I am a little bit more able to do this kind of thing at this point in my life because I've been working at it for so long. But I start to recognize that the person who is focused in the immediate moment, in the now, and on getting whatever it is that's needed, is merely one aspect of my consciousness. And that there's another part that's kind of more of an observer, the one that is always saying, it's okay, it's fine, things work out. So when I'm in this fear moment, I kind of pop out of it a little bit, and I go back into this more understanding, broader perspective that says it's okay, it's fine. So I'm simultaneously freaking out, and then at the same time going, it's fine, it's okay, you just need to, work through this, you need to process through this, maybe meditate a little bit, come back into alignment, all these other things. So I have this one aspect of me that's saying, we gotta do something now, this is scary, terrifying, we have to figure this out. And then I have this other part of me that says, it's already figured out, you cannot find the solution from that perspective, you need to take some time, step back, and gain a broader perspective. So when I'm in the state, and when I went into meditation to kind of process through it and work through it, I started to recognize the truth in the statement, you cannot find the solution from the position of the problem. So what this individual was talking about on this YouTube channel was the potential pitfalls of money, and how our society is becoming cashless, and when it becomes cashless, money becomes just numbers on a screen and then can be easily deleted or removed or whatever the case may be. And that's a scary thought. That's a very, very scary thought. But when you focus on how that's possible, you start to go, well, there's no hope, there's no chance, we cannot get past this, there is no future, like we're screwed and there's no hope. So you get this really, really narrow focus where you're just like, I need to figure this out. I need to find the solution, and I need to find it now, and I need to make sure that everything's going to work out. But the truth is, we don't really have control over this. I mean, even if we decided to gather up as much money as we can now so that we can make sure that we have all the things that we need for tomorrow, it's really not helpful for us, because ultimately what we're looking at is a need for change. We need to shift the way our society works. The very reason why people have a bunch of money collected in many circumstances is because they have been living in this state of fear for such a long time. You know, they've been trying to amass what they can because they're afraid that if tomorrow disaster strikes, they won't have enough. That's the only reason to get a lot of money, really. You might want some for recreational purposes, so, you know, I can understand that too. But once you get to the point where you literally cannot spend the amount of money you have in your bank account in your lifetime, it becomes more of a survival thing. You know, you keep accumulating money because that is how you buy more stuff, which can therefore keep you safe in the future. So when you're focused on the problem like this, when you're focused on the future and how scary it is, of course you're going to start accumulating stuff. Of course you're going to start gathering, and of course you're going to start, you know, hunkering down and making sure that you and your immediate family are taken care of. You don't care about anybody else, and that is rightly so. I mean, if you're scared enough, you're not even going to care about your family. Your focus is going to be solely upon yourself. And that is how it should be. So if anybody tells you that this is wrong and selfish, this is a survival mechanism. You cannot help but do this. And if you don't do this, you could die. So it makes sense that you would shift to such a narrow focus in times of great stress, because you cannot take care of somebody else if you are not alive to do so. So when you're focused on this fear, when you're focused on this lack, and when you're focused on this survival mechanism, of course, you're not going to be looking at other people. You're too focused on yourself. You're too focused on your own survival and the fear instinct that is moving you forward. But we all know that there is a solution to problems like this. There is one. We just don't necessarily know what it is. Now, there have been a couple ideas put out there. Personally, I like the Star Trek idea where there is no money in the future and we all just focus on improving ourselves, helping others, and improving the whole society together, you know, where we're all working for betterment. That seems like a much better world to live in from my perspective, because there is no longer fear of survival, you know, the fear that you will die tomorrow and there's nothing you can do about it. But the only reason that a society like that could work is because you trust that everybody is out for the betterment of all. You know, that the majority of people are living for unity and trying to create a world where we take care of each other. But you can only look at this perspective when you have a broad enough perspective to see other people. And this is where that concept of you cannot find the solution when you're stuck in the problem comes in. Because when you're stuck in the problem, your perspective narrows. In order to find the solution, you have to broaden your perspective once again to where everybody is included, or at least more people are included. I would say that if you really want a solution, though, you do need to include everybody. And I don't just mean everybody in your country, I mean everybody in the world. And if we knew of other people outside the world, I would even include them. But honestly, we don't know of any others, so for sure, we don't know for sure of any others. So you can't really broaden your perspective that much because we just cannot see them. We cannot fathom that concept. But when you broaden your perspective, then you start to go, okay, so we need to work together to find a solution. You know, we need to unify and trust each other to take care of the whole. And this is not an easy perspective necessarily. I do think it's natural for most of us to seek unity. I think the natural state of the world is well-being, which would include a unity concept. In order for well-being to occur, everybody needs to be well. The second you throw somebody who isn't well, they can infect other people. You know, this is where viruses come into play. You have one sick person and they can infect everybody else in the office. You have one sick kid and they can infect every other kid at school. So if the natural state is well-being, it's possible that one person who is ill can shift a lot of people's perspectives towards illness. And I think that's kind of what has happened, is we, for such a long time, were ill. You know, we focused on the negative, we focused on the bad, and now we're at this phase where everybody's infected. Everybody is focused on the lack, everybody's focused on the negative. And every now and then, some of us pop out of that and go, oh, wait, our natural state is well-being. So if we focus on that, that's where solutions come in. And to a certain degree, I think that a lot of our technological advances are moving in this direction. You know, like medicine is all about making people well again. You have psychiatrists who are about shifting the mental perspective to make you psychologically well, which can therefore translate to your physical well-being. And then once you're mentally and physically well, then you can switch to spiritual wellness and environmental wellness and social wellness and communal wellness. I mean, all of these things that are bigger than us. First, we need to take care of us, and then we can take care of others. But if we truly want to be well, we do need to be in that perspective of all is well. You know, everybody needs to be well in order for wellness to really take root again. And that's not to say that you won't end up with people who are ill or sick or, you know, don't want to get on board with unity. But if we're looking to improve our society, if we're looking to improve our individual life circumstances, at some point we need to step back and go, it's not just about me. And it's not just about me and my family. It's about all of us being well. It's about all of us creating a community where we can live in harmony and in unity. And a part of each of us, I think, wants this. It's entirely possible that not every individual feels this way. Personally, though, I think if somebody doesn't innately want unity in their life, doesn't innately want peace and balance, more than likely they are somewhat mentally sick. I'm not going to say for sure because, you know, it's possible, I guess, that somebody is well and focused on a more negative aspect or on a disharmony kind of thing. Seems unlikely, though. I mean, even our cells want to find balance. So that would mean that every aspect of life would be about finding balance. But once again, you cannot find balance on a larger scale when you're focused on the imbalance on a smaller scale. So if you're focused on a problem, a global problem, but you're scared, that means you're focused on your part in a global problem. So if you want to fix the global problem, you need to have a global perspective, which means you have to broaden your focus to the point where you can see the world from a global perspective. So this usually occurs only when you start taking care of your emotional well-being. You know, you have to take care of yourself. You have to live in wellness. You have to trust in the innate wellness that is the human life, that is all of life, that is the world. You have to focus on the unity, on the whole, on the community, and on peace and harmony. I mean, these are the things that you have to focus on, and it's only when you are in these emotional states that you can have that broader perspective. I have done some videos on emotional wellness before and on using your mind to help control your emotional state. But really, it's about shifting your focus to what's good in life. You have to focus on the positive. And once you do that, you broaden your perspective. So if we really want to make change, if we really want to make a difference in this world, and if we really want to live in harmony and in unity and in balance, we have to start with our own emotional well-being and focus on the positive, on the hope, on optimism, and trust that life, people, and the world are here to help us out. So that's everything I have to say today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I definitely encourage you, if for whatever reason you want to change your life, start by focusing on the good. It is so important. So if you enjoy this video, if you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you click on the like button, subscribe to my channel, click the notification bell, and if you have any questions, comments, ideas for future videos, want to share your own concepts on how you can improve your own life for other people, feel free to leave those in the comment section. I think it would be awesome to get more perspectives on this concept. It's not necessarily an easy thing to do, and I get that, but it all starts with shifting that focus, and that seems really easy, and to some degrees it is, but you know, a lot of us aren't quite willing to put in the work to do that because we don't fully trust that it's effort well spent. So at this point, you kind of have to trust that life will work out for you and allow your life to kind of become one of wellness again. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to end it there, so I will talk to you again soon. Bye.